I want you to imagine something. You have an idea. Maybe it's a new service. Maybe it's a new hire. Maybe you're thinking about investing huge amounts of money into something new and you're excited. You've already started imagining the outcome. So you open ChatGPT or Claude or Gemini and you ask, do you think that this is going to be a good idea? The AI reads it, processes it, and then says, yeah, this looks promising. And you feel so relieved, validated, and confident. So you move forward. But then 6 months later, it doesn't work. Your hire leaves, your offer flops, and the investment loses money. And you sat there wondering, but even the AI thought this were going to be a good idea. And there's an uncomfortable truth behind this. The AI didn't necessarily think it was a good idea. It thought that you wanted reassurance. And it gave you exactly that. And I genuinely think this is one of the most dangerous things happening in AI right now, because these tools are getting smarter every single day. They are also becoming incredibly good at making us feel right. And feeling right is not the same thing as being right. Today, I want to explain why AI agrees with you so often that it's dangerous, and most importantly, how to stop it from becoming the world's most expensive yes man. So let's talk about something that is absolutely nothing to do with technology, in all fairness. Humans being humans, right? They love agreement. Like, we really do. We like people who agree with us. We trust people who validate our ideas, and we enjoy conversations where somebody says, exactly, you're absolutely right. And it feels good. Our brain rewards us for that, which means we're naturally drawn towards people, media, opinions that reinforce what we basically already believe. And AI has accidentally become incredibly good at this, because AI isn't sitting there thinking, how can I challenge this person? It's trying to be useful, helpful, pleasant, cooperative. And often being cooperative means agreeing with you, which sounds harmless, right? Until you realize something. The decisions that matter most in life usually require friction, not agreement. Think about the biggest mistakes in business, right? Overhiring, overspending, launching products nobody wants, ignoring tasks, or missing obvious problems. Almost all of them happen because somebody never encountered enough resistance. And AI can remove resistance so smoothly that you don't even realize that it's happening. So this is the loop. You have an idea, AI validates it, you feel confident, so you ask another question. And the AI keeps supporting your direction, and now you're even more confident, and then you ask another question. Before long, you're not using AI to think, you're using it to justify. And it's those completely different activities, right? And I see this constantly. People ask, should I start this business? Should I launch this service? Should I hire this person? And they frame the question in a way that already contains their answer. And I found this an incredible opportunity. This candidate seems amazing. I've come up with a brilliant new offer. The AI immediately picks up on your enthusiasm. And suddenly the conversation becomes less objective because AI is trying to be helpful. And unfortunately, humans often define helplessness as agreement. And that is really dangerous. Because sometimes the thing that you need most is somebody saying, this idea has serious flaws. Nobody likes hearing that, but it can save years of wasted effort. And the strange part is, I actually think smart people can be more vulnerable to this, because intelligent people are usually very good at building convincing stories. We're brilliant at connecting the dots, at explaining things, making ideas sound logical, which means that we can become incredibly good at persuading ourselves. And then on the hand of persuasive arguments to AI. AI sees a beautifully structured explanation and often says, yeah, that makes sense. Of course it does. You've just presented one side of the case. Now imagine hiring a lawyer and then only allowing them to hear the actual prosecution. There's no defense, there's no cross-examination, there's no arguments, and that's how most people use AI. They don't present evidence, they present the actual narrative. And the narrative are basically persuasive. And even when they're wrong, which is why AI agreement can be incredibly dangerous for founders and consultants and business owners when they don't have it trained up properly, because our jobs often involve making decisions with incomplete information. And the last thing that we need is artificial confidence. And the first thing that I do now is remove myself from the idea entirely. Instead of asking, I think this new service is a great opportunity, what do you think? I ask, a consultant is considering launching a service this week, what assumptions might be flawed? It's a small difference, but it has a massive impact because suddenly the AI is no longer trying to protect my ego. As soon as you attach your identity to an idea, the conversation changes. The AI can detect the attachment, and attached people generally don't enjoy criticism. So the response becomes a lot softer, friendlier, more agreeable. Instead, make the AI feel like it's reviewing someone else's work, right? A colleagues, a founders, a business owners. Now it becomes much easier for the model to actually point out problems. And I use this constantly, especially when it comes to strategy-based decisions, because the strategy is dangerous. You can waste 6 months executing a terrible idea perfectly. The goal isn't to feel confident, the goal is to become more accurate. And this one changed everything for me. I started assigning the AI a job, not a personality, a responsibility. So, for example, you are a CFO whose bonus depends on preventing this investment from failing. Or you are a senior advisor whose reputation depends on finding flaws. Notice what happens. Disagreement suddenly becomes the job. The AI isn't trying to be nice, it's trying to succeed in its actual role. And this creates productive friction. And honestly, businesses desperately need a lot more friction. Good leaders do not surround themselves with people who constantly agree. They surround themselves with people who are willing to say, this doesn't make sense. We're missing something here. This assumption is dangerous. AI can actually become surprisingly useful once you give it the actual permission to disagree, because buried underneath all that agreeableness is often some incredible, insightful criticism. You just have to ask for it. This might be my favorite question in all fairness. After the AI gives me an answer, I will ask, what would make this fail? As simple as that. It's unbelievably powerful. Because now the conversation shifts. We're no longer discussing possibilities, we're discussing vulnerabilities. Every strategy has weakness, every hire has risks, every investment has blind spots, and every opportunity has assumptions. And the assumptions are where expensive mistakes are going to be hidden. And I think one of the biggest skills in business is learning to look at basically disconfirming evidence, and evidence that says this might not work, because if all this information supports your idea, you probably haven't looked at it hard enough. And this question alone has saved me countless of hours and mistakes and probably a lot of money as well. And after response, I'll turn around and I'll ask, what are you least certain about? Or what should I verify independently? Because AI often sounds confident, and confidence is persuasive. But confidence and certainty are not the same thing. And AI may be unsure. It may have incomplete information. It may be estimating. It may be making assumptions. You need to know where those weak points are, because good decision making is not about eliminating uncertainty. It's about identifying where uncertainty exists. And that is a huge difference. And the best operators I know are not necessarily the smartest. They're just incredibly good at knowing what they know and what they don't know and what needs absolutely checking. And I think that we're misunderstanding AI slightly here, because the goal isn't to replace thinking, it's to improve thinking. AI should not become the place where decisions happen. It should become the place where ideas get challenged, tested, pressurized, stress test, refined. Because honestly, if AI agrees with everything that you say, it's not really helping how you think. It's helping you feel comfortable. And comfort is wonderful until you get it wrong. The most dangerous person in your business is not your computer. It's not the economy. And it's definitely not the AI. It's the version of you that becomes convinced too quickly. AI can accidentally amplify that version of you. It can make weak ideas feel stronger, bad assumptions feel safer, and risky decisions feel obvious. And that's why I think the future belongs to people who use AI differently, not people who just basically ask it questions, but people who ask for friction, people who invite disagreement, and people who deliberately search for blind spots. Because the real value of AI is that it can tell you, right, what you want to hear, right? And it's that with the right question, it can hear what you need to hear. And honestly, those two things can lead to a completely different life. And what I want you to kind of get across here is like, this is AI skills. This is just talking to AI, what completely changes the game for you. But you also have systems. And when you've got a system with AI, sometimes you may have scattered subscriptions, you may have built 25, 30 different sheets, and none of it is communicating together. So what I've been building for the last 12 months is a system called Titan Code OS. And it combines both your objective, subjective, emotional data, KPIs, numbers, goals, metrics, and as a central operating system where you run everything for the growth in your company. And it has the ability to actually speak directly to it to see where the actual gaps are. And that's the thing that you need to move into now. How can I centralize my intelligence to remove guesswork from growth? And that's exactly what I've built and exactly what I provide to clients. And if you want to find out more about what we do, then I'd love for you to hit the description, apply and book a call with my team. If you're not subscribing, please subscribe, and I'll see you on the next video.